Welcome back, champions. War number 5 is here, and we've got another action-packed one lined up for you. I'm bringing Ironheart back into the spotlight because clearly I can't get enough of her, along with 2 of my newest rank ups, Purgatory and Wolverine weaponx. I've got 8 fights this war, and Ironheart is taking on 5 of them herself. Hope you're ready for another big Ironheart showcase. Let's dive in. And per usual, we're on path 4. We're starting off with Void. We're using my newly rank 3 Wolverine weaponx. I've taken this fight with him at rank 2, worked perfectly fine, but since I'm using him so much, I felt like he deserved to go up an additional rank. Nice thing about Wolverine weaponx here is you don't have to worry about the calcify portion of the node. He is immune to the petrify that it would apply, and the other nice thing is because of that, I hopefully at no point in time will have 3 debuffs on me, so I don't have to worry about the reverse controls. My plan here was to kind of stop my combos short. I want to stop on the 9s so that I can time out when Void would place a debuff on me. You can see here I stop at 19, wait for the debuff when it would be applied, get that 20th hit, remove it almost instantly. I kind of changed that right here. Once I went into Berserk, I figured I could probably kill Void before the next debuff would land on me. It's going to be close, but we get it done, and there we go. So Void is down, and we move on to the second fight on the path. And that fight is going to be against one of the champions I like fighting the least, I think. She's up there. She's not the one I like the least. You know, we're going to go into Rupture mode because Peni is Incinerate immune, but it's just a slow fight. Having to hit into her block all those times to remove the shield and all that stuff is just, you know, it's just a slow fight. It's not hard, it's just slow. So my hope was that she would never throw a special one. Of course, that went right out the window. So now we've got to hit into her block. And I don't think there's anything more boring in this game, for the most part, than having to hit into a champion's block. And you can see I'm not taking very much off that shield every time I hit into block. So it's a lot of hitting into the block. And then, of course, she throws another special one. All my debuffs are gone. I'm not doing any damage. I've got the, you know, the unsteady node kicking in. It's just, you know, there's nothing fast on this fight. There, we finally get her shield down. We can finally throw our first special one. You know, now it doesn't matter if she throws a special 1, doesn't matter if she throws a special 2. I'm going to throw another special 1 here. I want to stack on as many ruptures as possible. I want to, you know, knock her down as quick. And you know what? I probably could have finished it right there, but I wanted to be safe. So he did back off. The ruptures finish her off. Just slow, but relatively simple and relatively pain-free. And let's jump into section 2, and I'm going to be using my other new rank 3, and that is Purgatory. Took her up because I really want to learn to play her better, so don't critique me on my Purgatory gameplay as of yet. Nice thing with Knull on this node now is, since they made the changes, he doesn't go unblockable. Yes, he does get a Fury, and he does hit hard, but I'd much rather have that than him going unblockable. So, you know, here, the plan is to hopefully not have him throw a special 1, but of course, as soon as I dash back and let go of the block, he throws a special 1. So now we've got to kind of time out our special with the encroaching corruption so that we don't get reverse controls, and we managed to pull that off right here. So now he's just under bar power, and of course, the second I back up, he decides to throw another special 1. Not the end of the world, but we're just trying to time things out. Now, here we go. We get caught on a dashback, which kind of screws us over for a little bit. Now we've got reverse controls. Now I've got a Dex of special 2 in reverse controls, and hey, somehow I managed to pull it off. And I managed to do a combo in there to finish him off. I'll take it. Not the prettiest fight, but it works. And our last path fight is one I honestly was a little worried about. You guys know me by now. I don't like fighting champions when they're 100% unblockable and I can't get parries and stuff like that in. And well, unfortunately, Havok here is going to be unblockable the majority of the fight. Nothing I can do about it. I probably could have brought a different champion if I wanted to, but, you know, it was just something that I had to do is use Ironheart here just because of some other fights and things like that. So here, fortunately, now he's unblockable. The nice thing is I can block the unblockable specials if I needed to, but Here we go. We do dex the special. There's not going to be a time in this fight where he's not unblockable the rest of the way. So really, ideally, what I would do is get some intercepts like that and push him to a special 2. The special 2 is easy to dex, easy to counter. So there we go. We get him to a special 2. He throws that special 2. And now I can do a combo into my special 2. Will we finish him off? Oh, not quite. But we can do a little striker intercept there to finish him off. And you know what? I'll take it. Anytime that I can take a champion that is unblockable and finish it without getting hit, I am a very, very happy man. Let's jump ahead and take on some minis now. First one up is going to be this Northstar on node 37. And in this one, I'm really not too worried about much of anything in it. You're going to see I don't even particularly pay attention to the root node. If he hits into my block, great. For as quick as this fight's going to be, I'm not worried about him ramping up, and I'm not worried about him hitting hard. So here you can see we just do a couple combos. We get enough incinerates on to not have to worry too much about the healing that he's doing. We'll throw our special 1. His special 1 is so easy to dex away from, that I am not too worried about it. You just have to get distance, and there we go. There's a second special 1. And now you'll see here, I really don't pay attention to the root. I get rooted. I couldn't hit him, but, easy to dex out of the way of his heavy. It's just a 1-hit heavy. So now all I need to do is parry, do a little bit of a combo, and watch how hard my special 2 hits. And just like that, he is down, and we move on to our next mini fight. Now this next mini fight probably is going to be a little bit more difficult. It is going to be a dust on the Incinerate, Shock, Hazard Shift. Okay, this fight starts with the empathetic lock. So what I have to do for roughly the first 15 seconds is dance around and not hit her. So, good chance there she'll hit into my block, or I'll have to hit into her block, or I'll have to hit her and take some damage. Just the way it is. Here you can see she hits into my block. Fortunately, we only got 1 dust on there. Now, if we are dexing her, we can every once in a while put on an Incinerate, which is a nice way to start. Really, all we're doing is we're waiting for our armor up to land, and then we have to wait for the shock phase to swap over to Incinerate, and then we can finally start doing damage. So here we are. We're roughly 30 seconds in before we get to hit her. It just kind of slows the fight down. The scary part is if you look at that prowess, she gets quite a bit of it in that time frame. So, really got to knock that prowess down, and that's what we're going to do here with this special 1 before she throws a special, because even taking some of it into block or anything like that would hurt. Fortunately, we dex the whole thing, and now we just have to dance around again since she's in shock mode. Near the end, I decide, it's kind of worth pressing forward a little bit, even if I just get 1. It's not going to do too much damage to me. It's just hard kind of waiting out that whole shock cycle without doing any damage to her, letting those prowess build up. Here, we throw the special 1. We got kind of lucky. We only get 2 shocks on us. Now we dex the special 2. Now we just have to dance around again a little bit. That's the hardest part for me, is just being patient and doing the little dance there that's required in between the phases. Not a hard fight overall. We did take a little bit of chip damage. We did take a little bit of shock damage, but we get dust down clean. And time to jump ahead to Boss Island, and we've got this Adam Warlock, and I'm going to be using Purgatory. Like I said before, please do not judge me on my Purgatory gameplay. I need to learn her a little bit better, and that's why I'm using her is, I just want to learn how to play her a little bit more. So my plan going into this one was similar to how I used her in the last war. What I wanted to do was use my special 1s fairly regularly, often enough that I was knocking him down, that the falter would not apply to me, and I would be knocking him down enough that it would apply to him. That was really kind of the plan going in here. We'll see how that works out. Here, we're trying to bait a special 1. He finally throws a special 1. Now here, I throw my special 1. We're good. At this point, everything is the way I want it to be. Here, perfect. He gets right up. He throws another special 1. I lose track a little bit of the unstoppable time. I throw this into his block. It still does excellent damage, but I take some hits coming back. Now I've got the falter, and I missed it. Then I get hit by a special 1. Okay, this is not going well. I'm trying to back off. I've got falter on me. The striker doesn't care. There, I got falter again right away. So that was kind of the big mess up. That second falter I wasn't ready for. I thought once the first falter was done, I would have time. Now I'm trying to be a little bit patient. I'm trying to dex out his special. I've got the approaching falter on, and mid combo, right before I hit my special button, I get faltered. I'm still in this. There, I thought I had an opening, and I walk right into a special one. Oh, I was not happy. You could tell by kind of how quick I got out of that fight. I was upset at myself. I lost track of the timers and all that. Fortunately, I do have another tactic attacker. I wasn't going to heal up Purgatory. I figure he's low enough. I can go in here now with Wolverine weaponx. If I don't get disconnected, you'll see here that the network symbol pops up, and I'm thinking to myself, great, I'm going to lose another one because I'm going to get disconnected from this fight. So we wait. And we wait. And hey, it finally loads in. So, really, Adam Warlock is not that difficult on this node as long as you don't lose track of that falter. And that is kind of one of the things that I have trouble with on this node is, I can pay attention to the unstoppable timer. That's not an issue. It's the falter one when it pops up. It's never in the same place twice. So I'm never sure exactly what I'm looking at, where it's at, what I have to do to prevent the falter. And you can even see there, I got it on me, I hit into him, wasn't quite ready to be faltered. It's just one of those fights that I've got to figure out a little bit better. I've got to pay a little bit more attention to what's going on their bar. There, I get a couple hits, not the end of the world. Here, we just need to do a little combo into a special, finish him off. Shouldn't have been a death, but, we'll get better at that fight, and we're going to keep practicing it. And now, for the reason I took that Adam Warlock in the first place, is I really wanted to try this fight. I wanted to try my Ironheart versus his Arnim Zola on the Stunning Reflect node. Now, good thing is Arnim Zola is not Incinerate immune, so once I get Incinerates on him, I will be able to turn off the Stunning Reflect every so often. You'll see here that I do an okay job of it. I don't do a great job of it, but here we get an Incinerate on. The Stunning Reflect node is down. I can parry him once I get my 5 debuffs on now. They're a little late to counter a heavy. Finally get in there. We now have 5 debuffs. We could now parry him if we wanted to. And you can see the timer's currently down. Here we throw our special one. Ideally, I like, dealing with his special too. There, the Stun Reflect came back. I wasn't paying close attention. Fortunately, it didn't hurt us too much. We do get the little bit of brute force damage in there. Now we really need to get a stun in. Now the problem is the Stunning Reflect portion of the node is back, so I'm having to dance around a little bit. I'm trying to figure out, how do I get a stun in and not get him over 20 and not have to worry about the Stunning Reflect. And there we go. We finally get it. A little bit of pause. I was very happy with that portion of it, but you can see here, we're already down to half health because of brute force, and he's back up to 18 charges, and I've got to get a parry stun in. Okay, we get that one in just in time. We get him knocked down, we get his charges knocked back. Here, we're trying to get an Incinerate on him just by dexing. Didn't quite happen, and here I kind of mess up. He's now over 20 charges. So I'm thinking to myself, okay, how do I get hits in without triggering the sleep? So we're going to throw a special one. Hey, polka dot power may help out. Here he throws his special. I can't really counter it because if I go in, he's going to put me to sleep. So I'm kind of waiting for another special one. Brute force is taking me down. I'm like, there's no way I can just throw special ones the rest of the way. I've got to take a chance. And brute force is on me again. I'm waiting for my special one. We're going to do one last special one intercept. Okay, I'm 17 health. He's still got a good chunk. Here, I go in to do it, and I take a hit. Fortunately, my Ironheart is awakened, and I heal up. And now I got brute force on me. I am at 4%. He's at 10. We're going to take the hits into block. I'm not risking anything. I think I can get this off with one more special one. Fortunately, the striker finishes him off, and that was a little closer than I wanted, but we got the job done. Just like last war, I had one small slip up using Purgatory, but overall, I'm really happy with how this one played out, especially that Zola fight, which felt great to get through cleanly. I'm definitely going to keep practicing with Purgatory because she's a really fun champ to play. Mini account fights are coming up next if you want to stick around for more war action. If not, please remember to hit that like button, subscribe, and leave me a comment down below. Thanks for watching, and take care all. you